If you're curious as to what my look-fors are when I'm looking at selling cash-secured puts on stocks I don't mind owning, this video is for you. In today's video, we're going to go over a couple examples of stocks that I would not mind owning, and we are doing it specifically around the earnings season. So if you're excited for today's video, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and as always, turn on bell notifications for all future uploads. Now, what we're going to be looking at is, as you will see on my watch list, I have 6 stocks that I'm looking at potentially trading for this week. Honestly, the only one I'm probably not going to look at is Rivian, because Rivian doesn't fit my criteria for their valuation because they're not, growing in terms of turning a profit. Their earnings per shares are negative, all that kind of stuff there. So I'm kind of going to be pushing away from Rivian for now. That's the riskiest one of this list here that I'll be looking at. The Mag 7 are having their earnings this week as well, but I don't have the cash for it. So these ones are a little bit cheaper to trade usually. And I'm going to show you guys a little bit of a walkthrough. So the first stock that you see right here is on Chipotle. Now, I have had some success with trading Chipotle stock. I did it before. I sold pull minutes, cover calls against it. But the idea behind it is to sell cash secured puts on these companies on their earnings. Why? Their IV is elevated, and the hope is to either get an IV crush or for it to have a good earnings report, and that way you lose value relatively fast. The other option is that you just buy up shares of Chipotle, for example, at a cheaper price. So, for example, these are my levels for my Fibonacci's that I have here, and I'm noticing that Chipotle had a little bit of some support down on the $31 mark. And again, their earnings are coming out, I believe it is Wednesday, 29th? Yeah, Wednesday after hours, as you will see here. And I have a nice little spreadsheet that I look at over here, and you will not be able to look at all this here. But for example, I have Chipotle as one of the stocks. Chipotle is right over here, and I'll go over for Chipotle. And you will see that I have a valuation perspective of, a bear case, $29, base case, $33, bull case, $37. So $29 for a value bear case of Chipotle. And again, this is based off of their earnings per shares, their forward earnings per shares, along with their compound annual growth rate over the next 3 to 5 years. There's a lot of things that factor into it, the PE ratios, discount rates, all that kind of stuff there on that spreadsheet that I am using. So the spreadsheet tells me Chipotle bear case, we're looking at $29 per share. I'm like, okay. I can see we have a little bit of a support around the $31-ish mark as well. And if I was to take a look at, say, go on to our website here and go to bar chart and type in Chipotle Mexican Grill, so CMG. I like to go to bar chart to take a look at the implied volatility and the move and stuff like that. You go all the way over to here to where you see the expected move, especially for this week with their earnings here. And you will see that between now and the end of the week after earnings, they're expecting to have a move of, where is the, right here. You're looking at about an 8% move. So expected moves between $31 and $37. So that's pretty good. Okay. As you go out to the 15th, expected move is about $37.50 and $31 still. So again, the IV is going to collapse here after the earnings because now there's no more unknown that goes with it. As you can see, until you look at their last earnings reports here, they average about 9.25%. These two were pretty big moves in the negatives. This one was not too bad, actually. And then the most recent one, they were actually up 1.94%. So they're looking at basically having Chipotle to trade between 37 and 31 for this week. Next week, same thing. And the week after that, still about the same thing. So I'm thinking, okay, if I wanted to trade Chipotle Mexican Grill, and again, none of this is financial advice. This is just things that I like to consider as I'm looking at trading stocks in this case. This is not the end all be all and what I'm doing here. I don't have enough cash right now to even do this trade right here, but this is what I would be looking at doing. I would go to trade Chipotle Mexican Grill options. And again, implied move, the expected move, they're looking at to about $31 or so. So I could do a sell a put option here. Also, if you want to see how the options change looking at it, you could just buy a straddle like this and see what the expected move is. Again, about $30 and 60 cents and about $38. So between 30 and 60 bucks right here. So the options chain is telling me between 30 and 38. Bar charts expected moves on their earnings looking at about 31 to 37. And, I have a nice level of support here at 31. So I'm thinking that, if I go anything under 30 here, if the ROI is worth it, this would be something I'd be really keeping an eye on. So if I go to sell a cash secured put here, again, this means I'm agreeing to buy shares of Chipotle at, $30. Or I like the $29 one. even, for example, here. So if I sell the $29 one here, the bid ask a little while, maybe I might just go to the 31, maybe. I'm not really quite sure just yet. But I would take a look to see what it's going to be looking at trading here. And what you're looking at here is a 1.5% ROI in about 19 days, which is not too bad. A lot of open interest, some volumes there, a very, very low delta. The bid ask is pretty close here. So if I go to the options profit calculator here, I go to cash secured put, and I go all the way down to Chipotle Mexican Grill, hit this. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to May 15th. I'm going to sell, say, the $30 put option here. Again, remember, bar chart is looking at about 30, 50, and 31-ish. Option exchange looking about 30, 80 or something like that. So anything, again, is at $30. And again, there's a lot of support there from what I saw with my fib levels. You're looking at a really good ROI of about 27.8%. POP, probably profit, about 89%. And basically, I would be forced to buy Chipotle shares at a 12% discount, which again is out of the expected move of about 8% we're looking at for earnings. So since all these things kind of line up, this would be something I would consider watching very closely, especially for earnings. Now, I wouldn't sell the cash secured put tomorrow. I would be looking at selling it Wednesday right before market close because we get the highest IV. Everyone's buying up option contracts, trying to predict where it's going to go. You get a lot of volume comes into play. So I would have this one on my watch list. I would just add this trade right here to my watch list, and I would see what happens between now and Wednesday. This is kind of what the goal is and what I like to do when I'm looking at trading cash secured puts here. But again, it's on stocks that I want to own. Okay, that's the big thing that a lot of people don't understand. I sold a cash secured put on ServiceNow because I found the valuation very, very cheap. I found that it has a very good support level. And if you take a look, for example, at ServiceNow, if we go on over to it, you can see I sold a cash secured put for $85, which is right below the support line. And as you will see, we've gotten a nice little move back up, it looks like, or at least a potential support. Potential support here. Again, not guaranteed support, but it is potential to be there after their earnings, as we'll see here. Okay, so that's something that I like to kind of take a look at and to use as kind of my basis. It fits the support level. The ROI was worth it for me. I like the valuation at anything at a certain price. So I sold an $85 cash secured put. Do I mind owning the shares? No. I'll just then sell cover calls, wheel strategy it up, call it a day. This is the idea that I like to go behind it. Let me give you another example. Okay, if I go back to my earnings this week, another stock that I don't mind is Zeta. Zeta, as you'll see, here are my Fibonacci's. I actually just drew these out today, believe it or not, at the time I'm recording this. So Zeta's been trading, relatively in between this little range between 1437 and 1925, as you will see right here. So it came down, boop, came down, boop. Now it's kind of like in the middle. So for me, I'm thinking right away, somewhere between 1337 and 1346, somewhere in between this little range here, because I have two levels of support based off of my Fibonacci levels. And you can see that, we have a little bit of support around there. We had a little bit of it out of the 1437. It broke down to under, that level for a little while, which again is possible. It's not guaranteed. You can go all the way back here and take a look. That became resistance way back then. So I kind of like to look at this as potential levels. Again, it's not guaranteed, but again, if the charts line up with support and resistance for Fibonacci's, if the stock spreadsheet I use lines up with the valuation perspective, if the earnings lines up, if all these things line up, it sets us up for having a very good chance to be profitable. So Zeta Holdings right now, again, I'm looking at probably on $14-ish. If I look at my spreadsheet, I have Zeta's bear case at 1272. So bear case 1272, base case is 1866. So bear case around $12, which is right around here somewhere. Base case around like $18, which is right about here or so. So 14 is kind of like in between bear and base case for me. So I'm kind of saying, okay, it's kind of lining up somewhat in that way. Okay. Let's take a look at, let's go on to the options. Let's take a look at the bar chart one, for example, here. Again, because they do a nice little breakdown of what we're looking at. Expected move for our Zeta group here. As you will see, IV, we're looking at a move between $19 and $15, about 11% move here, as you will see. The big moves we've had, an average move about 16% here or so. So we already get a very big move, which means IV is going to be pretty high as a result here. And between now and, say, May 15th, we're looking at between $20 and $14.85. Again, remember my number? My number is about $14. And again, this gives it about 2 weeks of the stock to rebound and recover. Okay. Again, not financial advice. That's why that's up there. But this is the things that I like to think about and see if it's worth it for me to get into a trade. So Zeta at about $14 or so seems like it's lining up pretty good in terms of bar chart. It works with the valuation that I have the model for their earnings per shares and their forward earnings and all that kind of stuff. So now let's take a look at Robinhood, take a look at the options chain. So I'm going to go to trade Zeta options. I'm going to go to the May 15th, the monthlies, because that gives me a little more liquidity. And I'm going to go all the way down to about the $14 one. Now, before I even do that, let's buy and sell a straddle here and see what it comes out to be. 14.87, 21.13. Again, about a 20% move in either direction. Again, 14 I'm looking at is below what the expected move is to break even. So, again, still lines up with my thesis, which I'm very happy to see. So I'm going to go all the way down here. I'm going to go to sell a put option here. Now, the problem that I have right now is the bid ask is a little bit wider here. Not a lot of open interest yet, but again, when the market opens, we're hoping to get more open interest, a little bit more volume maybe. So I'm looking at a $14 cash secured put, and even if I can get it for $30, okay, I'm going to put in a conservative number because the bid ask spread is obviously a little bit off in terms of like it's a little bit wide. Let's lowball it from 35 to 30. So we'll go to May 15th. The good thing is that you can put the strike price in here and you can manually change this to what you want it to be. Let's say I get it at a conservative $30 instead. Calculations, 40% annualized return, which is phenomenal. 90% POP, probability of profit, which is phenomenal. And also, again, take a look down here. I'm going to be buying, worst case scenario, Zeta at a 20% discount. A 20% discount here at $14 per share. That ain't too bad. That is not too bad. Now, obviously, if the stock moves against you, you're going to see the negative come into your portfolio really quick because obviously you get very, very close to your strike price of being assigned. But again, if you don't mind owning the company at $14, I wouldn't mind owning at $14 based off the valuation for it. If I even wanted to, I was actually looking at even going further out. Let's say I go to June 18th. And again, my bear case is, where is it? 1272. What if I went to a 1250? The 1250 bid ask isn't too bad. I'm about to the $41 one here, for example. Let's do a 1250, $41. Okay. Just to kind of just see that you don't have to go with one size in terms of a contractor. You can go wherever you want. You can go with whatever bid ask you want. $41 or so. June 18th. Boom. 23% annual, which is still beating the S&P historic return. Still an 88% probability of profit. And in this case, I'm getting still the shares at about a 28% discount. And I'm going to be assigned at the bear case value play for Zeta. That's pretty good. I do not mind that. More risky ones, for example, would be like Robinhood, because I think Robinhood, based off of their earnings and how much they're bringing in, is a little bit of an overvalued play for right now. Their new earnings could actually back up their valuation better. I don't really quite know. Chipotle, again, was one example I was looking at. SoFi isn't a bad one. SoFi, you have to have more of a risky strategy here, because I'll tell you right now, with my spreadsheet, I have SoFi valued at a base case of 1125 and a bull case of 1450. So if I wanted to be a little bit more of aggressive on SoFi, because SoFi is one of those hot stocks people are buying up, I'd probably say about 1450, because my two different fib levels line up at about 1450 or so right here. So if I wanted to do that, I would go back into here. Let's take a look at SoFi stock first. If I could spell it right. Good job, Fridge Financials. And again, made this far in the video. Why aren't you liking this? What are we doing here? I will not sign up. Get out of my face. So earnings we're looking at 20 and 16, and all the way up to the 15th, they're at 20 and 16 basically for the entire time, which again is very, very nice to see. So we can go all the way over to SoFi stock. Do the same thing. Again, I'm looking at about 1450, and it may not be worth it. I don't really quite know. And again, just buying and sell and buying a call and buying a put, making a straddle actually allows me to see, okay, we're looking at about 1588 in about 21. So 1450 would be pretty good, actually. Let's see if what they have. 1450, you're looking at a little bit over a 1%. A delta of 9 is very, very unlikely for us to be assigned. But again, you're like, Fridge, you're doing this all to make $17. It's like, yeah, dude, because look at if I did this over and over again. Imagine I had a small portfolio and I was doing this over and over again. $14.50. This one is at 17. We'll keep it at 16. But look at this. Annualized return, 20%. Still double the average annualized return of SPY and a 95% probability of profit. And I'm buying SoFi stock down at a 20% discount. The numbers make sense to me. And again, is this a risky trade? Not really. Am I making crap tons of money hand over fist? No, of course not. But imagine if you'd, had like 100 of these contracts, right? At $16 or whatever. You'd be making a lot more money here. Obviously, you need more cash to put into it. But again, if you're starting off brand new and building up a portfolio, this could be a trade that has low risk, still has a decent ROI. If you want to be more aggressive, go more aggressive. The $15 one, excuse me, I'm losing my voice a little bit. The $15 one has a break even about $14.78, which again is about where those numbers are here. You could go more risky if you want. Again, this is not financial advice. You do what you want to do. If you want to take on the risk, take on the risk. But again, this gives you an annualized return 27% and a 93% probability of profit. Still very good. And I get assigned 18.8% cheaper on SoFi. Then what do I do after this? I look at the earnings report. I plug in the spreadsheet numbers, calculations, and I see if it's still worth my valuation or if it's a little bit risky. And we can readjust. So that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Hopefully this gives you a bit of perspective as to what we're looking at in terms of where I look at selling cash ticket puts and how I have all these different things lined up. I look at the support and resistance on Webull, which is this. I then go on over to a website like Bar Chart, which gives me an expected move value. I look at the options chain as well. Then I look at the ROI and see if it's worth it. Then if we do, we put on the watch list, we get ready to go, and we see what happens. Thank you guys so much. If you made this fun the video, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on those bell notifications as per usual. Hope you're making money in the market. Take a look at the Fridge Financial memberships as per usual, and I will see you guys in the next video.